I'd like to begin by saying how privileged I feel to be associated in a small way with some businesses and organisations that are involved in the fight against Covid-19. I'd like to begin with a business I know quite well called QIAGEN, or QIAGEN or QIAGEN, depending on how you say it. It's a German business headquartered in Hilden in Germany with a global presence and actually quirkily in the US, based in a town called Germantown. QIAGEN make DNA and RNA sequencing equipment. And what this really means is that when you go to your hospital or your surgery, your doctors, and they say we need to take some blood to check whether you've got something or maybe you haven't got something, quite often that blood is going to go to a lab and be tested by equipment that QIAGEN make. So DNA and RNA sequencing, they spin it and extract the DNA, and it's a then very complicated process. It takes about 5 days to do many of those tests. Famously, they provided a lot of free equipment in the recent Ebola outbreak and supplied that into West Africa. What they're doing right now is really ramping up the production of their test kit, specific test kit for coronavirus or Covid-19. They're going from a small rate of production to ramping up by June to more than 10 million units a month. And by the end of the year, 20 million units. Their contact centre has around 500 agents in it. Half of them are what we would think of as agents, answering the phone and emails to help clients and hospitals and labs out with their orders and so on. But around 250 of the people who work in this contact centre have PhDs, which is pretty unusual. So that's QIAGEN. The second business I'd like to talk about is Janssen, or Johnson & Johnson, again in fact huge worldwide pharmaceutical company, and they are working on a vaccine for Covid-19. So they're perhaps quite well known for treatment for things like HIV. Again, very advanced medicine, but right now in Leiden, or Leiden, I think it's said, in the Netherlands, where one of their labs are, they're working on a vaccine, one of many organisations, for Covid-19. Third organisation I'd like to talk about is Air Liquide. French headquartered, but again, massive global company. Air Liquide provide medical gases, oxygen and ventilators to patients in hospital and at home. Again, similar to the other organisations that I'm now speaking about, massively ramping up production, particularly of the oxygen and the ventilators that are going to the hospitals that are desperate for that right now. Finally, I'm going to talk a little bit about AB InBev, the world's largest brewer of beer. Right now, unfortunately, some of that demand has gone away because, of course, largely restaurants, bars and hotels are either closed or closing right now. So instead of manufacturing beer in some of their breweries, you need alcohol and you need containers to make hand sanitizer. So some of the breweries around the world are being turned over to develop hand sanitizer. One example in Brazil, just beginning in its outbreaks, they are going to be producing 500,000 free bottles of hand sanitizer and delivering 5,000 bottles to 100 hospitals each, rather 100 hospitals in total in Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo and Brasilia. I'm not personally associated with LVMH, but LVMH, in common with, in fact, AB InBev, use bottles and alcohol in some of the perfumes that they produce. Demand for perfumes falling, they have a perfect environment to help out by producing hand sanitizer using the alcohol that goes into perfumes and their bottles. So I'd like to say thank you to those organisations and all the people who work in them. Proud to be associated with you a little bit, and please keep going.